Hi everyone, Jill Lancet here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I'm in Greystanes, which is a suburb in Western Sydney. There's my online store. There is my email address. This is the current June host code, which ends on the 1st of July. You can follow me on Facebook here. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel. It's the same at Meraki Maven, or just look for my name, Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now, June is my birthday month, and it was my birthday on Friday, and Stampin' Up! Was so kind to put on a big 15% off designer series paper sale for my birthday. Wasn't that lovely of them? Yeah, I don't think that's how that happened, but anyway, I just wanted to show you these quickly. Starting on page 129, all of the normal, and they're the beautiful new ones. So you can get 15% off. So if you're not sure what that is, they're normally $21.75, or in New Zealand dollars, $26.25. But at the moment, they're going to be $18.48 Australian and $22.31 New Zealand dollars. And that is going to go until the 30th of June. Now, I've got a bit of a cold. I've got a nice cup of tea here, so if I have to stop and whatever, blow my nose, sneeze, whatever, please forgive me. Now, there are a couple of exceptions. This one here is called Delightfully Eclectic, and it is at the bottom of page 129. Now, this is a huge paper pack, and it would be normally $53. Now, these are 12 by 12 sheets, and there's 48 in there. So while this sale is on, it's $45 Australian and $53.55 in New Zealand dollars. But it goes through Bright and Beautiful Countryside in, which I've only just got, so I haven't done anything with that yet. We've got the beautiful Earthen Elegance. Now that's lovely. I can't wait to get my hands on that one. Fresh as a Daisy. That's one of the really popular ones at the moment. Glorious Gingham. Now, this one is normally $18.50 and $22.25 respectively. It is going to be $15.72 and $18.91 Australian and New Zealand dollars. It continues over to the Inked Botanicals, the Let's Go Fishing, Les Shop. The Masterfully Made, which is another very, very popular one at the moment. This Stargazing one. And this is the last one in the catalogue, is the Zoo Crew. Okay, so it was selected papers, and they're all the new ones. So, yeah, I'm sure you're going to find something that you're going to be really happy with, and even happier because you got it 15% off. Anyway, that's that out of the way. So I'm going to make one of the cards that we made in our May class, and excuse me, yeah, there's just a few things that we need. So, yeah, and yes, this is a recycled tray. I recycle as much as I can. Okay, so this is the card. Well, I've made them 3 times already, as you can see, and it is using, I'm just going to stand up because sometimes I can't see what you guys can see, the faux linen or the faux silk, and that's this finish here. So yeah, we're going to make this card from start to finish, and you'll see how I got that. But it's very lovely, soft colours. You know, we like the bright cards, but sometimes we might need a softer card, so that's what we're going to do today. So I've got all the stuff here. Excuse me, because, you know, I'm sick. Okay, I'm sick, and that is my excuse. Okay, so we're going to start this card, and the first thing we're going to do is to stamp some of the stamps from the Gorgeously Made stamp set. and we're going to do a really subtle. Well, it starts out bright, but by the end, it's quite subtle. So let's get going. Let's just get going. So you need oh, and if you'd like a project sheet on this, email me, please. Email me at tilly2145@gmail.com, and I will email you back the project sheet. I'm just getting it if I can find it. No, can't find it. Sorry, I've been sick. I've got a load of washing in and a cake in the oven, and we're going out for lunch. So I'm a bit pressed for time. Anyway, I'll just give you the measurements. So it's a normal, this is our very vanilla. It's A4 cut in half and then scored at 10.5. There's our envelope. We don't need those till later. Then we need a piece of crumb cake, and that is 14.2 centimetres by 10. A piece of very vanilla, which is 12.8 by 8.4. Okay, so that's what we need. We need a couple of scraps. I've got a bag full of scraps here. We also need a scrap of Pool Party that we're going to die cut this beautiful leaf from the masterfully, gorgeously made. Anyway, we're going to start, okay? We need, for this card in particular, for these colours, Lost Lagoon, which is one of the new core colours, the Copper Clay and the Wild Wheat. Now, those three are some of the brand new colours that have come in. These two are the in colours for this next 2 years. And this is a returning colour, Lost Lagoon. So, excuse me. We are going to grab a scrap of paper. Oops. Typical of my day today, something just fell over. Anyway, so in this stamp set you get these beautiful leaves. There's a type set, like a font. There's this other beautiful leaf, and there's another, is that from that stamp set? I don't know. You matter to so many. That could be from another stamp set. I'm sick. I'm sticking by that today because I really am sick. Okay, so what I did was, first of all, I started with the way I did it was 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to stamp the type font. Now, it is type font, and there's a direction. So if that matters to you, just make sure you've got the right direction. And we're stamping that in the beautiful Copper Clay. I love this colour. This is the wobbly desk. The new equipment hasn't arrived, and I have not even attempted to reconfigure this room, so sorry. So we're going to stamp this 3 times. So once up here, go off the page. If it bothers you that it's straight, make sure it's straight. But otherwise, just let loose. So 1 there, 1 here, and another one down here somewhere. But yeah, make sure they go off the page. So I think we'll just pop that there like that. Now, that one's done, okay? So that's our 3 stamps, 1, 2, 3. Now, this one here is one of the beautiful, oh, there's all schmutz on that. Yeah, one of the beautiful foliage plants, and we're stamping this one in the Wild Wheat. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink, hang on. Okay, Beautiful wild wheat colour. I did preview these colours a few weeks ago, well, a couple of weeks ago. Gosh, it might have even been a week ago. The 5 new, what do you call those? In colours. Now, I've just splotched on there, but you know what? I'm not going to worry. So we've done 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 2. And I'm going to do 1 this way. And 1 the other way. And I'm just inking that up. Now, we're actually going to cover this piece, so... And you're thinking, well, if you're covering it, why are you bothering? You'll find out in a minute. Just stay with me. Stay with me till the end. Okay, so I've got this one now going that way. So that's our 2 stamps. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of those, 1, 2 of those. I'm just going to take this one off here. The kids next door are in their playroom, so if you hear them, I've got no music today because I went to put my music on and my phone was like stone dead. So it's just me and my nasally, coffee, horrible, cold voice with the occasional kid noise from next door. But that's how we roll. This is life in the suburbs. Now this one I'm putting straight on here. Now this is the Lost Lagoon. Okay, so I'm putting him right there. I've made this card a number of times now, so pretty much could make it in my sleep. And I wish I could make things in my sleep sometimes because there doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and now we've got 1. Now this is our focal piece, and the other piece that we need is a piece of tissue paper. Now this is possibly the cheapest tissue paper on the planet. It came in something I ordered, and as I think I've mentioned before, I'm a recycler. I never throw anything out. So, yeah. And you need it bigger than your piece. We are going to trim it down, but we need it bigger than that. Hang on 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. I just have to blow my nose quickly. Hold on. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is where the faux linen / faux silk comes in. And we're taking this piece of tissue paper and we're screwing it up, screwing it really tightly up. Okay, now we did this the other week with some flowers made out of cardstock that were wet. This definitely does not have to be wet. It will just disintegrate. We're doing this dry, and as you can see, I'm really giving this a big squish. Okay. So then you want to carefully undo this. Now, this is very fragile tissue paper, so you want to be very careful. Now, at the end of the day, if you do tear it, it's not going to be a huge drama, but yeah, just try and be careful. Now, don't smooth it out, okay? Excuse me. You don't want to smooth this out, okay? So we've got it to here. We're going to use this, our silicone mat, because the glue doesn't stick to this. Now, hang on, I have to have another drink, sorry. Sorry, guys. If this bothers you, I'll understand. So we're going to put, if I can get it running. No, that one's not working. Now I've got a frog in my throat. Okay, so I'm putting a bit of glue on here. And this was Connie Stewart's idea. Having a sponge, and she keeps it in a little container. So I just want to put glue all over the front of this. And I can hear you thinking to yourself, oh, man, no, 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 no. What are you doing, you silly woman? I know you're sick, but that's just crazy. No, no, it's not crazy. Because this is what we want to do, okay? So I've got glue everywhere now. I'm going to take it off here. I'm just going to pop that over there. And we're going to lay this, creases and all, straight over the top of this. Now you want to try and center this because we're going to be cutting some of this off. Okay, so you just want to press that down now. Now you can leave it so that it's got really big creases in it. My preference is no, I want to really press that down because I want that to look like really fine linen or silk. So when you turn it over, you can see it's still got those wrinkles in it, but they're not sticking up like this. Okay, so when you're happy with how that's turned out, and you'll see that that has toned down our background. Those colours were quite strong, and it's toned those colours down considerably. So the next thing we want to do is just trim our tissue paper because we don't need all of this. So I'm just trimming that to about 1/2 inch or so, and then we're going to glue that down as well and smooth it over across the back just to get that extra bulk out of there. So back with our glue and our sponge, and I'm just going to finish up the glue that's on here. You don't need a lot. Okay, that can go in there, goes in there, pop the lid on it, and that glue, when it's dry, that glue will just peel off, so I'm not worried about that. So now we're going to fold the 4 corners in first, fold those in just like that. Now you might need a little bit more glue, I've been yakking, so, and then you just fold that over, give it a good press down. Now the edges will be not crisp. I'll show you what I mean when you see it from the front. So it'll be a bit wonky, but if you want that to be straightened, just give it a good run down the side and tuck it under. If you can see what I mean. Okay, so we've got our beautiful focal piece or our background piece, but we're not finished with it yet. So now we are going to do some blending with our blending brush. And I'm using the crumb cake. To tie the crumb cake in, I'm using the crumb cake, and I'm just going to lightly, what they call distress this. Now, this has got a vintage feel to it, so I thought, what better than to just lightly go around those edges. You concentrate on the corners because that's where things get touched most, you know, in these vintage things. Now, there's a lot of ink left on here, so I'm just, now I want you to have a look at that. See what that looks like now. And then when we go over this very, very lightly, sorry, wonky desk, remember, it is going to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I've got a bit of brain fog at the moment. It is going to increase the visual of those creases. So, yeah. I don't know if you can see that. You don't have to do that. You know, if you're going to make a card, make it your way. These are just the way I made my card, and I'm showing you how I've done that. So now we have this. So we're going to glue this on. Now you could pop this up on dimensionals if you wish. I'm not going to, but we're going to glue this on now. And the tissue paper is so thin that the glue will more than likely soak through to that and help keep that stuck down. So we're just going to center that up, and it's about a half a centimeter or something all the way around, something like that. So we've got this beautiful subtle vintage inspired card base now, and that's a bit too white for me there. Oh, little spider. That's a money spider. I'm not going to kill him. Bring money, bring money. So yeah, there we've got our card, basically the bulk of our card. Now, I said that I had some scraps. I had loads of scraps left over, and don't waste them. Don't waste. Look, I even recycled the bags that my stamp and seal refills come in. So I had these pieces over. I had some crumb cake pieces over. I had some very vanilla pieces over. And these are brilliant for sentiments. So this is the sentiment that I want to use. I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. And I'm just having a look at my little card here so I can do it the same. So what I'm doing is I'm going to stamp that in the crumb cake. Again, you could put any sentiment on this if you, depending on your occasion, okay? So turn it up the right way for a start. I'm just going to ink this up. Have a little test run. Yep. And I'm going to stamp that as straight as I can get it. Now, I'm stamping it, I mean, I've got a long piece. So if I bugger this up, essentially, I've got 4 shots at this because I've got 1, 2, turn it over, and another 2. But hopefully, famous last words, hopefully I might get this right in the first go. So just popping that down there like that. Now, do forgive me if my head gets in the way. But yeah, and look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's not straight. Okay, so we've got our lovely little greeting, so we can pop that away. And what I did was then I just glued this to the bottom just to give it another little accent. And you'd be surprised what something like that, just that little bit of scrap that was probably going to be thrown out, what a difference that makes. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue across there. Is this the one that, oh no, this is the one that's got glue in it. By the way, if you hear my oven timer go off, I'm in trouble because there's a cake in there. Okay, so you can make that as wide as you'd like. I think just a little hint of that is lovely. Just make sure it's straight. Just make sure it's straight. Now we are going to trim this down to fit the front of our card, but we can now go ahead with this card and finish it. It doesn't take that long once you've got that card up. And as you saw, I've done just about everything except this die cutting and the cutting of the paper. I've done that right in front of you here. So now I want to place my, and I've got a couple over from our classes the other day. So this is Pool Party. That was stamped in the Lost Lagoon, but it's a couple of shades darker, but it comes through as a a paler colour. So I wanted this pop of blue repeated on this card because I just felt it needed something. Now there's my boo-boo. You're not even going to see that. You're not even going to notice that. Remember when I put that little bit of glue ink down there? So I'm going to glue this on here. I'm gluing it directly on there. Now, there's a couple of spots on these die cuts that are perfect for glue, and you really don't need a lot. Look, one drop there, one drop there, and that's basically it. Now, I've got this one leaning towards this way, so I wanted to lean this one this way. Now, because I've only put glue in those two strategic places, these bits are going to be able to be left 3D if you want them 3D. If you want them flat down, go for it. So there's our pop of blue on the front there. Now I'm going to cut this. I'm going to use my little guillotine. So I want this over here, like I've left enough room in case I wanted to adjust it, but I want it sort of close to the end there. And I think about there. Looks pretty good. And then I'm chopping this bit off at the angle just to add a bit of interest. We've added another little bit of interest here, so we're just going to do that. Any angle you like. So I can't cut straight to save my life. So here's my little hero. Is my little guillotine. You could do that on your paper trimmer. You've got a couple of pieces now left over, and they are cut at the same angle. So you could do that again on another card, okay? Because we cut them at the angle, don't throw them out, please. I'm begging you, recycle. Okay, so they're going in my little stash over there. Okay, now that's out of the way. By the way, you can't get those little guillotines from Stampin' Up anymore, but I have seen them loads of places. So if you think that something like this would be handy for you, yep, we don't carry them, but you can get them. Now, in our, here it is. We have some baker's twine, and I haven't looked them up in the catalogue. I'm sorry, I'm sick. Did I mention I was sick? Yeah, I think I did. Anyway, you get a multi-pack. Have I got them here? Yeah. Again, recycling. I bought some figs, and this container looked perfect. Yeah, they come in a little pack like this, the baker's twine. You get, sorry, this is how my brain works. You get crumb cake, grey granite, very vanilla, black and white. Now, they're like the neutrals, so they're going to come in so handy. Crumb cake is different to the linen thread, but, you know, at a pinch, buy the one pack. You know, I'm all about saving money. Anyway, so we're just going to make a little bow, and I just do rabbit ears. People have asked me to do this and demonstrate it slowly. 2 loops, and then I just make a knot, and I'm probably making a bit of a hash out of this, but there we go. Now, when you get it to this stage, when you pull that through, you need to pull this bit down and turn it upside down. Now, you've got 2 pieces that will tighten the knot and 2 pieces that make the loops bigger. So you make your bow as big as you want. I think that looks pretty nice. And if you do it on the spool, I haven't wasted anything unless I decide I want to trim that off. You know, it's a bit tricky and a bit wasteful to just pull out a piece, cut it off, and then tie your bow. So, yeah, I think somebody else told me that online. So I've got our pretty little bow. That's stuck down. Now, you can actually pop that up, and I will do that. I just glued it straight onto that card, but I will pop that up on our Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, I don't know if you've seen we've got these other ones that are like strips. These came in one of the kits, and I've just cut them, always cut them up into smaller pieces because they're easier to manage. But yeah, these are strips, so they're so handy. It saves you putting hundreds of what do you call them, dimensionals on. They're a little bit higher than our normal dimensionals, but that doesn't matter. They're good for shaker cards. So there, look, I've just used one strip, and I think that's probably going to be enough. Right, so that's going on the front of our card. I did find my Take Your Pick tool too, by the way. So yay me. Now, I'm putting this about here in the third, in the bottom third. Now, this is a design trick. If you line your card up in like a noughts and crosses grid, where those lines meet is what they call the sweet spot. But generally speaking, it's thirds of cards, and it pleases the eye to see them like that. So I'm lining it up with the vanilla, the very vanilla edge. I'm just going to make sure that's straight before I press it all the way down. And that looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and attach our little bow. Now, look at the size. I don't know if you can see the size of that glue dot, but that's huge compared to our tiny little knot. So what I do sometimes is, and having said I found my Take Your Pick tool, now I can't see it on my desk. Oh my goodness. I just had it. Okay. Just take your fingers and roll it. Roll it on itself. I'm not doing a very good job. There we go. So it's rolling. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. So I'm just rolling it into like a little sausage. And then I'm going to stick our bow into that. So I want it to go where the knot is. So and there we go. I'm just going to peel that off. Now, you can place this wherever you'd like to. I kind of had it at the center of the stem, but given we've now raised this up, you could put it on there, but I will put it back on the stem because I like it there. But you can put it wherever you want. And the natural curl in this baker's twine, it just gives it that really nice. One is longer than the other. You could trim that off if that bothers you, but I think it's nice. And to finish it off, I used the Tinsel Gems, the 3-pack. Now they come in Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia and Lost Lagoon, and they're kind of like clear, but they've got a little bit of tinsel in them, and I'm sure this is not doing them justice, but anyway, I decided on the Lost Lagoon ones, and oh, here it is. I knew I put it here somewhere. Thank goodness, because that's just going to save the day. So I put 2 on. I only put 2. Now we talk about odd numbers or the visual triangle when we're putting these things on. Well, here is my visual triangle. Okay, I've got my pool party leaves and just 2 of those. Now you can go crazy. You can put as many as you like on, but this is the card that I designed, and I'm explaining to you now my thoughts about that. And it does finish it off. it does give you that visual triangle. You don't have to go crazy. If you have issues with putting these things on here, that's a couple of things you can remember. A visual triangle and odd numbers. Even though we're only putting 2 of these on, the finished blueness, the finished blue items, there's 3. Okay, so these come in 2 sizes. So I've put a big one up there, and I'm going to put the next one down here. We've got our triangle happening, the eyes traveling around that card in that triangle configuration. So what did we put inside? I put in "You're a great friend." Now, have I got that somewhere? Oh dear. No, of course I haven't. So this is going to be centerless, this card. But if I was going to put that greeting in there, I would replicate this beautiful leaf here, and I would stamp it off. I would do it again in the Lost Lagoon, and I would stamp it off. Stamp it off first, and then just have a little peek of this coming across the bottom corner. Very, very pale because it's such a strong colour. And then I would put my greeting in the crumb cake there. I'm going to glue this on the front of the card. This works out well because now it doesn't matter what occasion I use this for. The inside is completely clear, and you can do that. You can make cards, leave the middle blank until you're ready for the occasion. Excuse me, sorry. At least you can't catch this through YouTube, which was such a blessing when COVID was at its height. But there we go. There's our beautiful card. I've made that many of them. As I said, I could make these in my sleep, and I think I probably did make a couple of them in my sleep. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed that technique. It's called faux linen or faux silk. But until next time, give that a go. Let me know if you do, and just in the comments, and let me know how it turned out. I'm not sure how you can put photos in there, but you can always send them to me to my email address. And don't forget, if you'd like the project sheet with all the measurements and everything, all the supplies and the colours, do send me an email, please, because I can then send it back to you straight away. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. I'm going out for lunch for my birthday with my family, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.